one seamless robe. As we gaze upon the history of the seamless robe said to be worn by Jesus Christ during his crucifixion, we cannot help but feel a sense of awe and wonder. This sacred relic, revered by many thousands of pilgrims, has been the subject of much debate and speculation over the years. According to the Gospel of John, the soldiers who crucified Jesus cast lots to determine who would keep the robe because it was woven in one piece, without seam. This seamless coat is said to have been preserved to the present day and is displayed in the cathedral at Treves, on the river Moselle in the Rhineland of Germany. Legend has it that Helena, mother of Constantine the Great, discovered the seamless robe in the Holy Land in the year 327 or 328. The robe was later demanded to be seen by Emperor Maximilian I, who arranged for it to be exhibited for pilgrims to view. However, the story takes a dramatic turn when in 1793, the parish priest, fearing that the robe would be destroyed in the French Revolution, cut it into pieces and hid them in separate places. Only 4 of the pieces remain, and they were moved to the present church of Argenteuil in 1895. As we marvel at the mysteries of history and the religious artifacts that have survived for centuries, we must also remember that the true power of these relics lies not in their physical form, but in the faith and belief that they inspire. Whether or not this seamless robe truly belonged to Jesus, it has undoubtedly served as a powerful symbol of hope and devotion for man. 2 Crown of Thorns. The biblical crown of thorns is a powerful symbol of suffering and sacrifice, representing the torturous ordeal that Jesus Christ endured during his crucifixion. While the exact details of the crown's construction and origin are unclear, the object has become a significant religious relic, drawing thousands of pilgrims and tourists each year to see it in person. According to some accounts, the crown of thorns was made from a plant known as the Christ thorn jujube, which grows in the Middle East and can reach heights of up to 30 feet. The thorns of this plant are long, sharp, and extremely painful, making them a fitting choice for a symbol of Christ's suffering. It was lost for centuries after the sack of Constantinople in 1204, only to be rediscovered in the 13th century by King Louis IX of France. Louis IX was so moved by the relic that he built the Sainte-Chapelle in Paris to house it, which is still standing to this day. Despite its significance to Christians, the crown of thorns has faced a number of challenges throughout history. During the French Revolution, it was stolen from the Sainte-Chapelle and briefly held by the government before being returned to the church. Today, it remains on display in Paris, where visitors can see the twisted, gnarled thorns that once encircled the head of the Son of God. As we contemplate the crown of thorns, we are reminded of the power of symbols to convey deep meaning and evoke profound emotions. 3. The Shroud of Turin, one of the most intriguing relics in the world. It is a length of linen cloth that bears the faint negative image of a man. Some believe that the man depicted in the image is Jesus of Nazareth, and that the cloth is the very burial shroud in which he was wrapped after his crucifixion. The shroud is made of flax fibrils and is woven in a 3-to-1 herringbone twill. Its most distinctive characteristic is the faint brownish image of a front and back view of a man with his hands folded across his body. The image appears to be of a man with a beard, mustache, and shoulder-length hair, and is in a straw yellow color. One of the most intriguing things about the shroud is the presence of reddish-brown stains on the cloth. These stains correlate with the wounds in the biblical description of the crucifixion of Jesus. The shroud has had a tumultuous history. It was damaged in a fire in 1532 in the chapel in Chambéry, France. A drop of molten silver from the reliquary produced a mark through the layers of the folded cloth. The shroud was first photographed in 1898 at an exhibition. It has undergone several restorations and many steps have been taken to preserve it to avoid further damage and contamination. Many tests have been performed on the shroud, including radiocarbon dating, forensic blood, and anatomical and materials testing. However, the shroud's authenticity has not been disproven and remains a mystery. In 1988, the shroud was subjected to radiocarbon dating tests, which concluded that the cloth was created between 1260 and 1390 AD. However, many people dispute these results, and some believe that the samples tested were not representative of the entire shroud. The shroud and its origin remain a mystery. Despite numerous tests, its true age and the identity of the man in the image are still unknown. Some believe that the shroud is a forgery, while others believe that it is an authentic relic of Jesus' crucifixion. Whatever the truth may be, the Shroud of Turin continues to captivate the world's imagination and will likely remain an enigma for years to come. 4. True Cross. Imagine for a moment that you are standing in the heart of ancient Jerusalem, watching as a grim procession marches by. At its center, stumbling beneath the weight of a rough-hewn cross, is a man named Jesus of Nazareth. He is bruised and bloodied, his face contorted in agony, and the air is thick with the scent of sweat and dust. As you watch, you might be forgiven for feeling a sense of despair or helplessness. But little do you know, this moment will become one of the most iconic in human history. The cross upon which Jesus was crucified is known as the True Cross, and its story is shrouded in mystery and intrigue. According to Christian tradition, the cross was hidden away by the faithful of Jerusalem after Jesus' crucifixion, in order to protect it from being desecrated by the Romans. For centuries, the True Cross remained hidden, a silent witness to the tumultuous events of history. It wasn't until the First Crusade, when European soldiers stormed the city, that the cross was rediscovered. There were actually 3 crosses used in the crucifixion, one for Jesus and 2 for the thieves Dismas and Gestas. It wasn't until the inscription "King of the Jews" was found above Jesus' head that the true cross was identified. As with many religious artifacts, the true cross has been the subject of forgery and deception over the years. Traveling merchants in the Middle Ages were known to create fake relics to sell to pilgrims, and many people today claim to own fragments of the true cross. But even with all the controversy and speculation surrounding the true cross, its significance to the Christian faith remains undiminished. For believers around the world, it is a powerful symbol of sacrifice and redemption. 5. The Ark of the Covenant, a wooden chest covered in gold, with an elaborately designed lid adorned with 2 golden cherubim. It was created by Moses 1 year after the Israelites' exodus from Egypt, while they were camped at Mount Sinai. Inside the chest were the stone tablets with the 10 Commandments, Aaron's rod, and a pot of manna. God instructed Moses to build the ark during his time on Mount Sinai. He was shown the pattern for the construction of the ark and told that it would be made of acacia wood, gilded entirely with gold, and have a crown or molding of gold. 4 rings of gold were attached to its corners, and a golden lid adorned with 2 golden angels was placed on top of the ark. It is said that God communicated with Moses from between the 2 angels. After its creation, the ark was carried by the Israelites during their 40 years of in the desert. Always placed in a separate sacred room when camping, many have claimed to have discovered or possessed it, and several possible locations have been suggested. The Ethiopian Church claims to possess the Ark of the Covenant in Aksum, where it is currently kept under guard in a treasury. The Lemba people of South Africa and Zimbabwe claim that their ancestors carried the Ark south, calling it the Voice of God, ultimately hiding it in a deep cave in the mountains. Despite the claims, the Ark's true whereabouts remain a mystery, adding to its allure and significance in religious and historical circles. It serves as a symbol of the Israelites' covenant with God and their commitment to follow his laws.